like random videos, you know. I'm not allowed to be Rainbow Gonzalez anymore, you know. I thought, you know, what if I want to be Rainbow Gonzalez? You gonna fucking take me to court and sue me? Oh, it's recording. So you ever wanted to like share something that you thought was very important to the time period we live in? Hold on a second. Something that has absolutely nothing to do with television. One of the coolest things I ever saw or read in my life was confess my sins so that when I get to heaven before God in judgment, there is no one accusing me of hiding my sins. Now, I thought it was important, you know, that because I have empathy for someone who has really searched hard for truth. Really searched hard for truth and found, and I'm not going to get killed or assassinated for saying this, but one of the coolest things I ever read was by a man named William Cooper. This book is not illegal. It is on the shelves at most bookstores. It's called Behold the Pale Horse. In the beginning of the book it says, a structure of lies only stands because it has one element of truth amongst it. Without that one element of truth, lies would be known as lies. The one element of truth amongst the lies is what makes the lies believable. Almost like your higher sense, you know, this higher sense that everyone has, everyone, not just special people that are in the public eye, not, you know, everyone has this special sense. So anyway, not being completely awake, you look at these lies and you sense the truth within the lies, like a needle in the haystack, you know. You sense it and you're like, I know this isn't true, but something's not right, something's off, you know. That is the nature of confusion. The nature of delusion or confusion, you know, is like disillusion, or, you know, discarding an illusion for what you thought was a delusion that ends up being something more real than the truth you had believed your whole life. So I wasn't ever at any point in time saying things or putting things on Facebook or making videos to convict people for their wrongs. Yet when you speak and the emotions are intertangled with your words, and people think that you're speaking out of anger or hatred, because people, a very small percentage of people are completely awake in that nature, familiar with their own emotions, or as far as like religious sects, there are people who think, you know, passion is not bad, pride is not bad, admiration is not the same as jealousy or envy. Okay, just like people might be jealous of certain things about me or envious of certain things about me until you walk in my shoes for a while. And then what happens is you're like, wow, I don't really want to be that guy. He's got a hard, you know, stuff going on in his head and in his life, you know. So I'm not saying that to boast. I'm saying that because I was sort of clarifying what a man named Manly P. Hall had spoke of. He said that one cannot understand another person's pain until he has lived in his shoes. So this is like a truer form of compassion or empathy. The reason I say this is I sort of thought of myself as a Buddhist, as far as like I like Buddhism, I like the way that they look at things. And then I read what they call the Buddhist Bible, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't agree with this. It says if you want to get away from suffering, you have to get rid of desire. You have to get rid of desire, you have to be free of passion. I don't agree with that. I'm sorry, I feel like passion is needed at this time period we live in. People being passionate, like Greta Thunberg, being passionate about raising consciousness about air pollution, about the sky, about water pollution, different things like that. Being passionate about those kind of things is the reason why people pay attention to her. So I found it very hard to think that indifference was what the Buddha was speaking of, because I don't believe indifference and love are intertangled. It doesn't make any sense. Indifference is like a parable, and I don't speak parables to torture myself with virtual world reality, although it has happened, and you can call me crazy all you want. You wouldn't be the first person to call me crazy. It's fine. So he said, you are neither hot nor cold. You are lukewarm, so I spit you out of my mouth. This means there's many definitions or paradigms for the meaning of this phrase or parable. It is one of my favorite parables because to me what it means is you're in indecision. You're in between. You cannot decide if you want to do this or do that. And it referred to the left and right path. And there are also many definitions, many ways to define the path of the left and the path of the right. One of the ways I thought was the most interesting was the left brain and the right brain, temporal lobes. Because there are some people that say that human beings are the only beings on the planet that have a temporal lobe. And if I'm wrong, whatever, there's a lot of misinformation. It's hard to study something and be held in contempt because you don't have money to go to college, and then all the stuff that's in the college is on the internet also, but it's also intermingled with a bunch of bullshit. So I'm not denying that, and I'm not accusing anyone of being a bullshit hoarder. A lot of people that push all this bullshit out into the internet aren't aware that it's fucking bullshit because they just click on it and then share it. Click on it and share it. And I'm not convicting you. I'm saying that I've done that myself a few times, and then later on I thought, that isn't even the truth. It's not even, it's just something somebody said that sounded good. Another good example is somebody came on Facebook and said, Clint Eastwood dies at the age of blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no, man, that's one of my favorite actors. I love Clint Eastwood. He wasn't dead. They even put a fucking CNN tag on it, and I was like, surely you can trust CNN. It's like, he's not dead? You mean the things that are supposed to be reliable, the things that we're supposed to be able to trust, like the press? What does the press have? The freedom of press, the freedom of speech, the freedom of expression. Why does the press get more freedom than a musician or an artist? Why does the press get to decide how much success the artist has? When did that happen? When did freedom of expression get balanced and measured by people who don't really give a fuck about freedom of expression? And I'm not saying that, all this cynical bullshit about there's no Constitution in America anymore. There's no Constitution in America. I know that. You don't have to fucking convince me that America's riddled with liars and thieves. And I'm not talking about people who go to a store and feel fucking steal like a candy bar or something. I'm talking about people that steal your time and your energy. They accuse you and arrest you for things that you didn't even know were illegal, or you're just screwed up in the head mentally or brain damaged, and you end up getting put in jail because you have a fucking illness. And in that prison and in that jail, they don't deal with your illness. You're just another number to them. You're a fucking paycheck to them. You know what I'm saying? So, in the time when I was in prison, I read this article about this Christian philosopher. Well, he was the one that wrote it, but he was very, very heated. You know, he didn't speak nicely about it. He spoke about Christians being sort of dumbasses. And he is a Christian. So I thought, at first, when I first thought about it, I was like, it's kind of rude and mean, you know. And then the guy, one of my friends, Danny, he goes, no, it reminds me of the age in the 80s when it was like punk rock, you know, where people were loud and in your face and fucking standing up for their rights and passionate, you know. And I said, you're right. It's good, you know, it's good. Words, you know what I mean? Like putting more focus on fuck or shit or some cuss word and distracting someone from the fact that does not nearly matter as much as brotherhood and love amongst people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I began to understand that in retrospect. I started to say, you know, maybe some Christians need to be talked to that way. Stop being dumb and helping people that are going to fucking abuse you constantly. Now, there are certain people that you cannot talk to that way. Okay? Because the reason why they continue to help people that hurt them is because they're kind of ill. They're sick in certain aspects of their life. The reason I say that is not because of the AA book, not because of all this other stuff. It's because it's not right to beat up on a sick person. Whether you're beating up on them with your words or your fists, it's not right to beat up on a sick person. It's just like these younger people that I was in a town where these younger people were beating up old men and taking their money. And this guy was like a homeless, retired, ex-military guy that was just an old drunk living on the streets, you know. And it's like, not that big of a deal. There are a lot of drunks in the world. There are a lot of junkies in the world. What is a big deal is for people that are younger beating up their elders to take money, you know. That's a big deal. And you can't get rid of violence with more violence. You know what I'm saying? It's very sad to me, okay? I agree with some of the stuff that I was reading about the Illuminati trying to get people to be more respectful of their elders, and I agree with it because this whole other section of people think the Illuminati is evil, or they're out to fucking use all this stupid trickery to fuck you out of your life and all this other stuff that has nothing to do with the Illuminati. Shit, it all spilled out. Anyway, the only reason I brought that up is it was like, you know, there are entities and organizations in America and all over the world that are meant to be secret for a reason. Certain things are not good to be known to the general public. First of all, mass hysteria, you know, like nationwide mind control being subliminal or a frequency they put into a commercial or something like that. That would piss a lot of people off, you know, and I have no guilt or shame about it because I'm not responsible for all that shit. But anyway, my point being that, you know, again, like I said, not all that glitters is golden, you know. I say that because I realized how limited my perception is of people, let's say like famous people, you know, like I would have a conversation with somebody about somebody that I really admire, and a famous person, you know, that just one of my mentors that I never met. You know, Dave Mustaine or James Hetfield. Dave Mustaine is always one of my favorites because he's very intelligent, even though he's kind of a dick. Well, that bringing my point to the forefront of this conversation. I meet somebody that's like, yeah, I met Dave Mustaine one time. He was a dick, man. He was fucking just really rude to me. And it's like, so you based your opinion on this person based on one guy that had a bad experience with this guy. He met him for like 30 minutes or 20 minutes maybe, and all of a sudden you think Dave's a dick because this guy met him and he was in a bad mood or something. The same with James, you know, like I met this guy and he was like, yeah, I got to see James Hetfield backstage. And he was like, get the fuck out of here. And I was like, wow. My first reaction, you know, was like, wow, James is kind of a dick, huh? He's like, yeah, he was pretty fucking rude to me. And then, you know, the thought had occurred to me, it was like, it was backstage at a concert, you know. It was like, the guy probably didn't want to have any company. He probably bombarded with people who are his fans all the fucking time. So I began to kind of, you know, have empathy for somebody that's like a wayfarer, you know. A wayfarer is a musician, you know, like somebody that speaks great philosophy, great prophetic stuff into their music, prolific, wonderful stuff that touches people's hearts. They almost are like peace officers, you know, because they have to hold themselves to a higher standard. They have to think to themselves, like, I think Dave Mustaine said it on an interview he was doing, that you got to consider there are thousands of people that are listening to your music. So if you put evil shit into your music, there could be people's little children listening to your music. And me, as a father, I'm not going to pollute my children with evil fucking bullshit. And yes, there is a very, very, very big difference between like making a song that sounds evil for the sake of entertainment and then fucking putting all this evil, demonic shit into your song to where when they hear it, they're like, I don't know what's going on. I listen to the song and now I have a demon in my head. There's a big difference in that, okay? And I'm making light of it because it isn't light. It's kind of terrible that people do that kind of shit. I'm making light of it because it doesn't help to fucking saturate something with so much fear and so much hatred and just, you know what I mean? Fear and hatred are demonic in and of themselves. So speaking about something that is demonic by using hatred didn't make sense to me. That's why it didn't make sense to me. If you're not speaking in love about something evil, then you're not really doing much good. You're just kind of perpetuating the obvious. You know what I'm saying? So, the thing that I think the difference between what I think about that and Marilyn Manson's music is Marilyn Manson is more of one of these people that wants to like wake people up to shit that's really fucked up in the world. You know what I mean? Like Tom Araya or Kerry King from Slayer, they sing songs about shit that's real. You know what I mean? And these, I'm not going to be nice right now, these fucking idiots that go out there and they listen to Slayer songs and they end up committing terrible acts of violence or black magic or sorcery based in a song they heard on the radio. And Tom seems like a really, you know, just a nice guy. He's a really polite, friendly guy. I don't know him personally, but I'm saying. So anyway, he's like, yeah, you really think I wrote that song to make somebody rape and kill some fucking 15-year-old girl? Look me in the eyes and tell me you think that I wrote a song for that to happen. Now, that in no way dictates the person's drive as a musician or creative artist, because that's ridiculous. People are stupid in the world. That has nothing to do with what I say and do. Their choices are theirs, not mine. I'm not encouraging or suggesting or subtly commanding people to carry out fucked up shit in the name of God. So this was the only way I could clarify, like, moving my way into the music scene without becoming like this religious icon, you know, like, and that's not, I'm not saying that happened. I'm saying that in the music business, in the music business, the business, not the creative spiritual part of it, but the music business, they always have to categorize things. We got to say, like, Creed was one of the best bands I ever heard in my life. He's still one of my favorite bands, but they did not categorize him as a Christian progressive rock band, even though he probably was. Being categorized as a Christian progressive rock band means you're not on mainstream radio. You're on a Christian radio station, you know. What's wrong with Christian radio stations? They don't pay you. Okay? If you want to support your Christian agenda, you need to fucking start paying these people. And you need to stop focusing so much on their language or their attitudes or their personal business, you know, because we're human beings. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't... Shinedown has a song, he says, it's the 45 song, he says, a world not so subtle. In other words, I should just be completely out in the open saying I'm a believer in Jesus Christ and not have to feel like because I've said that I'm subject to oppression and regression and all this stuff that's like the superficial way of labeling a Christian, you know? Because if I said I was a satanic, devil-worshipping fucking schmuck, there is this notion in my head I would get lots of support. Now, why is that not the other way around? Why can't it be both ways? Why is it freedom of religion in America? Okay, because you got one side saying, well, Christians carry out terrible stuff also. Satanic people carry out terrible stuff also. They do death curses and sick curses and just, you know, infect you with a spirit of illness and infirmity, you know. Or just, you know. Anyway, the reason I'm saying that is that I would hear stuff about these religious leaders being accused of stuff, and I was like, who the fuck do you think are accusing them of it? Who do you think are accusing these Catholic priests and all these people of that? You know what I mean? If this satanic cult or whatever, they want to fucking shut down the Catholic Church, if they got a lot of money, they can pay the press to do whatever they want them to. Say, hey, I'm going to give you $20,000. I need you to make it look like this person did something really bad. So all their focus on the Catholic religion is averted by that one little mistake. Pretty brilliant, you know, I will admit that. It's fucked up, but it's brilliant. The same could be said about the Catholic Church and the Satanic Church. The idea, which I heard on one of Teal Swan's videos, was that the whole idea is that you're in conflict with something constantly. And the idea of that religion is peace. Peace. Inner peace. It isn't to be constantly in conflict with something that's more powerful than you and using God as your pawn in a chess game. That's not the way God works. I don't agree with that. You know, and God's not going to use me as a pawn in a chess game. Neither is the devil, for God's sake, you know. If there even is one, you know. And I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying the art of confusion is very much an art. The reasoning for that has been long kind of studied by human beings and men and women in our society. And when you really get down to boil it all down, you know, the art of confusion, it's like, you don't have to do that, you know. If anything, confuse the stupid people that are causing the problems. Enlighten the people that are already somewhat enlightened. Lift them up, make them stronger. So maybe they can help these stupid people. You know what I mean? When I say stupid, I don't mean unintelligent. I mean just really unemotional or emotionally unbalanced. Because being emotionally unbalanced is way worse than being unintelligent. Because some of the most peaceful, happy people I've met in my life are completely uneducated, dumb, just, you know, blissfully dumb, you know. Having a lot of intelligence and then having no way to apply it to your life because of money and all these other elements, that's a fucking miserable place to be. But I can say I have been there, and I'm not miserable. I'm completely at peace with things. You know, I don't like the fact that I'm on the verge of homelessness most of the time, and I felt like it was because of something I said on the internet. I said, there's so many, you know, homeless veterans that are strung out on dope or drunk and just living on the streets, or just sober and living on the streets because they're down on their luck. I would go live with them if it comforted them. I would sit around and play guitar for them all the time just to make them fucking happy, or keep them from fucking hurting themselves or someone else, and just try to have some kind of love for themselves so they can want to not be homeless anymore. Because the trick of it is to make them not want to be homeless. Make them want to go back into society and not worry about being persecuted for being somewhat elite, you know. Because these guys are like trained to be superior. They're trained to be above the rest. That's the way they're trained, you know, so it's not wrong. This is the way they're trained. This is the way they're conditioned. So by honoring that situation, they're, you know, quoting Manly P. Hall again, you know, if you want to understand what it's like to be one of those people so that you can better help them, then maybe you should try to do what they have done, or just study what they have studied that made them the way they are. And there's no greater honor for a man in this world, or a woman in this world, than to be offered all the things that they have studied that made them the way they are, that put them in the positions where they are, where they feel like they're trapped in a corner and they don't know how to get out because of stress disorders or other things. There's no greater honor than someone thinking, this guy might be give it out, man. Let's give it to him, see if he can figure it out. And there's no even greater honor than that, than actually having success with it after being given it, you know. I'm not claiming anything right now. I'm just saying these are all things that have been circulating in my head and my heart, because my head and my heart at this point are the same. You know, everything I think of has a measure of love with it, and that in and of itself is a form of enlightenment. And you can say that you're enlightened and not feel like you're boasting or being egotistical, because maybe you are. But the point is, it is helpful. It's very helpful. Like if you're gonna study something, put somebody in a position where they can't get out of and they can't figure out their life to get back on their feet, you have to have the time to sit and really, really let it simmer, saturate in your brain, your mind, and in your senses, everything. If you don't have the time, then myself, at this point, I'm not gonna volunteer for something like that and have no money and live on the streets. And I'm not going to do it unless there's some kind of, you know, paycheck at the end of it, okay? There has to be. Now, I will say that if you don't have any success, then I guess you're not really worthy of a paycheck for it. If you have some success and somebody still hasn't paid you for the work that you have done, in fact, somebody has stolen it from you telepathically or however the fuck they've stolen it from you, because believe me, that's happened to me before. You can fucking say whatever you want about me. I don't give a shit. I've had 13 books stolen from me that I had written, journals, personal journals about shamanism, spiritualism, conjuring and invoking certain types of spirits or energies or whatever. 13, 14 books missing. You know, every single one of them. In fact, I wrote 3 or 4 more after the fact, and they're gone also. One of my books was a phosphorus green color. I came back to find it in the woods where I had left it because I was sitting in the woods writing, and it had 3 holes punched into it. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with these people, man? Are you that fucked up in the head about me that you got to try to scare me by threatening my life just because I sit in the woods and write? Like, what the fuck did you think I was doing? You think I was spying on little girls and jacking off? I was writing books, you dick. I mean, that's a reason for someone to feel conviction. I was trying to give my family fucking bacon on the table. That's a part of what people do when they write books. They fucking make money. So, you know, I'm not pissed off about it anymore. That's called passion. That's not anger. That's passion. You know what I'm saying? Writing and music, I'm very passionate about. So if you're confused about it and you think that I'm angry because you stole my shit and tried to use it for your benefit, then you got me all fucking wrong. I'm not pissed off. It's all right here. You can read it 100 times and probably never understand it. You know what I mean? So I say that with love because I don't want to live this way anymore. And as soon as I am willing, as soon as I am completely willing to do whatever is necessary to better my life, all the doors open up again. All of them. And I ain't talking about the doors that are good and the doors that are bad. I'm talking about all the good doors open up. The bad doors can stay closed for as long as I live. I don't care. I'm not going back into that kind of crap. Good doors are like, if there was a door to hell, I don't need the keys to that, okay? If there is a door to heaven, God, Jesus Christ, Hare Krishna, Vishnu, Vishuddha, all these spirits are good spirits. And so I was disappointed when someone would talk about, I rebuke and renounce the spirit of Vishuddha and Vishnu. Vishnu was not evil. Ganesha was not evil. Hare Krishna was not evil. I mean, Hare Krishna did the same thing as Christ. He had to fight, you know, but Christ fought with his words and not his hands. So, you know, you really have to do some research before you make these claims about something being evil. And I'm speaking to myself also, because I've done it also. So just really consider that, because these people have good people amongst them, like the Indians, the Hindus and stuff. There are good people amongst them. You can't make a decision about a whole group of people based on one fucking asshole. It's just kind of rude. Some of them are really good people. They're very wealthy. They're very, very willing to help Americans and different things like that. So you have to really consider that. You have to measure each thing with a measure of compassion and love. And then when you do that, when you measure stuff, measure love and compassion, other things open up for you. You begin to see that you were right. Those people are good people. They care about each other. They even care about people that aren't Indian or Hindu. So I don't know where all that came from, but I know I'm about to be in a place where I can't do any more of these videos for a while. So I wanted to make one last one before I move on to bigger and better things. So I was singing this song yesterday, and they always record my songs when I sing them, except when they don't record them, that's when it seems like it's the best, you know, and so I wanted to know why. So I'm going to try to do this song before I leave this hotel room. I go into the mountain, I go far, but I leave no trace. I see her face before our eyes meet. Her tears like stone. She gathers rain with her hands, tears of angels from the sky. She gathers rain with her healing hands and opens her heart to every man. Shares the milk of God. She gathers rain with no fear of the crippled, blind, broken, and insane. Don't run away from the ones in decay. 'Cause how can you save yourself without saving everyone else? They pull you down in agony. Share the best part of me is the best part. Just my broken heart is the best part. Your love in me is the best part. Just a peace and harmony, reaching to the sky and pull down the veils of time to see serenity in the hands of men, to see serenity in the heart of your children, see serenity in the eyes of lesser creatures, the same. your calluses with tears. She who gathers rain with her hands, washes away the stain of the memory. No misery and agony without you leave. Always I will remember. She who walks in my heart and mind, leaving many traces of my own light. And she who loves me in spite of time and pain. She who loves me any way I am. And I was broken, you held me in your arms. When I was sorrow-filled and not exposed to charms. Charms of men not like me, not so very free. She who gathers rain to wash away my scars, wash away my scars, and live with your heart. Open your heart to the angels. She would watch the sky and bleed the fiery rain, to bleed the sky of rain, to dampen the sorrow of tomorrow. I will live again of my sorrow. We will never know again. If sorrow came and took away my joy and mind of peace, if sorrow came and took away my heart that had been released, these chains that hold me down, my wings that are broken, these chains that hold me in a place of misery. She who gathers rain with her hands and washes away the scars of every woman and man. She who gathers rain from the sky and washes away the tears of every woman and man. For tomorrow I will be with you in spite of sorrow. I will always be your friend in spite of sorrow. Empathy never had a change, so with your hands of peace, an enslaved soul will soon be released from this misery. So I thought like this song was like the idea of rain comes from the sky, you know, like the sky's a filter. But people don't think of it that way. They think like you got to have something that you can see with your eyes, otherwise it doesn't work as a filter. They think the sky is like, the sky is immortal. The sky has been living longer than I have, you know. You don't think the sky is capable of cleaning itself? Or the sky wouldn't just use its brother, the ocean? You don't think like sky and water? Sky and water are like brother and sister to the Indians, you know. They call it Father Sky, Mother Earth. So it's like, you don't think Mother Earth is pretty familiar with the sky? You think that, right? I mean, they're more familiar with each other than we are of them. Unless you are Native American and you're like completely at one with the earth like they are, you know, because they spend most of their time outside and are completely content with it. And people like me, you know, I'm confessing, you know, people like me spend most of my time in houses with doors and windows and stuff, you know, not really exposed to the elements of the earth, and they're probably more immune to this stuff than we are. Why?
because we put ourselves in sort of a little tight space, you know. So anyway, that was the gist of the song, was just kind of like honoring the sky in hopes that by honoring the sky would honor us and not be polluted and clean itself and teach us how to clean it. Because you think, if a man can communicate with another man, then a being that is much far superior to us can also communicate with us. So, you know, we take it for whatever you want. I don't care. I just really thought it was a pretty song.